Our next discussion is called Greenest Village in America with our own Chip Comins and Richard Goodwin, a builder and philanthropist who graduated from Drexel University, where he received an honorary doctorate in human letters. His work for peace can be found at mepdn.org.
So this is, Richard and I have been discussing what would it be like if Snowmass Village were to be the greenest village in America. What would it be like if we were able to have 100% renewable energy developed here locally and develop a distributed form of energy? So Richard has been very actively thinking about this. He asked me to oversee the retrofit of his home to a net zero standard. We almost got there. We certainly reduced the efficiencies tremendously. So Richard, I'm just going to pass it on to you. I know that you have something that you want to read.
Yeah. I and a group of Snowmass Village citizens are determined to make our little paradise in the Rocky Mountains the friendliest and greenest village in America, and to set standards here that can be replicated throughout Colorado, the United States, the whole globe. And it can be done at no expense. Now, some people think I'm a little nuts when I say that, but the reason I say that is if America is really serious about global warming, then funds should be made available, I'm going to say by some source. The federal government could provide it, and the repayment of secured loans would be the gas and electric savings. Now, I retrofitted my own home, and I cut my utility bills by 50%, and I'm not concerned about utility rates going up, which is 2 to 3% a year. It's going to have very little effect on me. And as time goes on, the savings actually increase because I don't face the additional cost of gas and electric. It's stabilized at that point. And also, the retrofitting, which may take a year for the average home or much less, the immediate reduction of carbon emissions happens overnight. We pay for it over a period of time. It's a sum zero event for everybody. And the group that I'm working with in Snowmass Village, we're determined to set an example that can be used anywhere, at any time. Of course, we are fortunate in this area where I hope you're all familiar with an organization called CORE. CORE was started 20 years ago to reduce carbon emissions and to create usable, reusable energy. And of course, Chip knows all about that. It's been quite successful. They have achieved a great deal. In order to encourage the residents of the Snowmass Village to retrofit their home, I have started contributing money to CORE for specific use to encourage residents of Snowmass Village. And they have, over the last 2 years, over 55 homes have been retrofitted through the CORE program. And the incentives that I put forward, my family foundation has already contributed at $12,000, and we expect to contribute a lot more because it'll be a perfect example for not only this slice of paradise called Snowmass Village, but for the whole state of Colorado. So that's it in a nutshell. I can go on and talk about our friend Donald Trump.
No, I think let's try to keep it to Snowmass Village and the wisdom that you have had to retrofit your home to set an example for your neighbors on the street and for all the residents in the village, that this is the kind of thing that we have to do if we're going to be honest with ourselves and honest with our children in terms of what we all have to do, and that is simply advancing energy efficiency in the home and then adding all the technologies that we can to reduce the carbon throughput from burning fossil fuels. So you're a leader in that, and I really want to thank you for doing that.
Thank you. I want to mention this. Right now, the energy code in Snowmass Village is a disaster. And part of the movement that I'm in is to tighten up the energy code in Snowmass Village, and the gold standard is the Rocky Mountain Institute building in basalt that has practically no gas or electric. In fact, I remember when Amory said years ago he looks forward to no furnaces, and that's very achievable. So I want to see our energy code tightened up and a movement for retrofitting. One of the things that Snowmass Village could do, they have a lot of these parking areas. If they would put photoelectric cells on these parking areas, that electricity could be connected to the adjacent condominium buildings that are all over Snowmass Village. So, and Snowmass Village also has a lot of open space. It has 300 days a year of sunshine, and that's another step forward to take the greening of Snowmass Village seriously. I want to mention this about the ski company. They haven't joined on this yet, but I expect them to. Just think they can advertise the Snowmass Mountain is the greenest mountain in America, even though it's white. Are we all for that?
So in light of, go ahead.
Okay. Now I want to talk a little about the most respected man in my whole life, which was my father, who was a graduate of the United States Naval Academy and never graduated from high school. But he did teach me about making speeches. And that is, he said, stand up to be seen, speak up to be heard, and sit down to be appreciated. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Richard. And I want to just say, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for your support with AREI, your wisdom and leadership, waking up to the issue of, setting an example, walking the talk. And so, I think that we all ought to give Richard a big, huge hand for all that he's accomplished here, in Snowmass Village and in trying to advance the concept of making Snowmass the greenest village in America. So,
Thank you.